Uh,
They're good.
I mean, you can't even get started. Oh my God. What's happening? What's happening? Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome. Welcome. It is Michelle Bryant here at WNOV 860 AM 106.5. You are listening to Real. Good morning, Buzz.
Good morning.
Hey, Eva. How you doing this morning?
Lord, power,
Seriously.
power, power.
You-
Power. They were saying
No.
power.
No.
Need more power.
I'm
Need
No.
more power.
I'm good.
The long way around.
Yes, I was asking the Lord for some more power.
The long way around. Y'all can start making fun of these folks in these churches.
They need to stop it then. They need to get their mind right.
No, y'all
Fix
need
they
to stop.
tongue.
Y'all need to stop. Good morning,
Michelle.
Mr. What?
Jumped out your chin.
I have moved past you. Good morning, Mr. Rideout. How are you this morning, sir? Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Shell,
Got that
Go
long pause.
Shell.
I'm not listening. I really.
You know, our birthday is coming up in a couple days,
Yeah.
and well, woman, I decided that I was gonna spend my birthday thinking about the WNOV.
You will not. You're gonna be in Miami, Negro. You ain't gonna be thinking about nobody.
I'm gonna be in Miami
Stop.
with all of my
Stop.
kids, folks, and we're gonna ride the banana boat, and we're
Stop
going
playing.
to the banana boat. Man.
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna ride the
mean,
banana
bruh,
boat.
he gonna be in Miami.
Yeah, welcome to
Am I gonna be
Miami.
thinking about anybody in Milwaukee when I'm in Miami?
Say it.
I am not.
You're not going to Miami. Are you going to?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm going to Martha's Vineyard.
That's what I thought. I was about to
Nah,
say.
he going to
I'm
Miami.
going to Miami.
Yeah, I seen.
And I'm just
I
like,
seen-
yeah,
I
he's not
seen his
thinking about
Miami.
nobody. He already got his little Speedo laid out on the bed.
Listen here, man. I'm gonna be out there with my Zaddy shorts on.
I'd have mine laid
Speedos
out
and
too.
zaddies.
Be out there with my Speedo and Zaddy shorts with some compression socks
With compression socks, really do.
and a headband. Just out kicking
Oh,
it.
so you gonna look like Keith.
Ain't got nothing coming.
Yeah,
With
kicking it.
You gonna
compression
look like,
socks on.
you gonna look like Keith Ferris out on the beach.
Why would you say Keith like that,
Yeah,
Michelle? That's
good.
so.
What he say? Headband. Keith
Yeah.
look like he'll
You
wear a
know,
headband.
I feel sorry for Keith because he never instigates. You start with him because you come on first. and then
He never instigate.
he's always
Are
in a
you
he has to be in
serious?
defensive mode when he comes in here all the time.
No,
Because-
Keith bothers me even when I'm asleep. I want to be clear.
Damn.
He is irritating.
Jesus, that's some heavy bothering right there.
I'm
Rhonda,
just
is
saying.
Rhonda aware that he's bothering you while you're sleeping?
She knows that he's
She be
aggravated.
tossing and turning,
He's aggravating.
folding the urns.
I'll hear something that'll immediately make me think of Keith, and I get aggravated. So no, don't be trying to like feel bad for him. All right, family. Lot to get to today. Got guests coming into the studio, but I'm sorry. So I'm a, and see, because Keith is in the back of my mind. Must it always come back to slavery? Must it always come down to race?
Wow.
So I got the little alert on my phone, little news alert that Sean Combs, aka Diddy, his defense team is requesting a pardon. They have reached out to Donald Trump about a potential pardon following his conviction on 2 charges of transportation to engage in prostitution last month. Okay. And so when I first read it, I was like, bruh, they holding you over, awaiting your sentencing. They're not going to let you out. Okay. And then if you have done what these people have now convicted you of doing, then how do people now see our justice system that all you got to do is dial up the trifling president who's had similar accusations leveled against him and civil cases in which he's lost that talk about sexual assault of a woman? How do you just get to, before you even get sentenced, you reaching out for a pardon? And because of wealth and status, connection, access, and power, some of these people are being, and political affiliation, some of these people are being granted those pardons. But you think about folks that have been in jail forever.
And they ain't guilty.
In some cases, not even guilty. But have done the programming, done everything they were supposed to do. You know, you live in a state like Wisconsin and where it's truth and sentencing. Like, there are people who will, like, I'm trying to do the programming. I'm trying to do everything I'm supposed to do. I've done everything you've asked me to do so that I can either get released on parole. They don't even have the pardon piece in mind yet. I'm just trying to get parole. I'm just trying to get out of this joint. This dude does not want to take any responsibility for said convictions. Okay. So y'all heard me on my soapbox. I said all of that. So I want to be on record. I said all of that. He don't have no business asking for a pardon this soon in the game. You haven't even been sentenced yet. And I think it's unfair to other people who are just regular, everyday people who get caught up in the system, whether they did something or they didn't, but who are now trying to pay their debt to society so they can get out.
I think his lawyers gave him heads up as far as the sentencing and what he's facing.
Oh, you already know what he's facing.
And so he's trying to stay ahead of the curve.
So again, I'm not surprised by any of it.
Yeah.
And even trying to be again, because bro, they got you dead to right on some of this stuff. Yeah. Now everybody agreed they went too far with the RICO charges, but you done, did some of this stuff, and some of it was out of order, and there ought to be some punishment for it. Not just that you got sued by Cassie and paid her some money. But again, I said all of that. But I still am looking at Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, even though he's dead and gone. His first round with law enforcement, he gets 18 months in jail for having sex with young girls, which he only does 13 months. And then that 13 months, he gets Huber privileges, which means he only spends the night at jail. He is free to kick it for 12 hours a day at his office, at his home, wherever he said he has to go to be able to do work. He violates his probation, according to the documentary I watched, at least 62 times that they can document. And the violation, you were supposed to stay at the house. You had home confinement, and dude was everywhere. Pictures. The photographer actually say, "Hey, Jeff," and he look up, and the guy take his picture. You not at the house. You got 13 months in jail. Ghislaine Maxwell is convicted of assisting Epstein with this sex trafficking of minors and, facilitating prostitution. I'll look at the specific charges that she received, but she got 20 years. Then she meets with Donald Trump's former personal lawyer, Ty Blanche, who is now in the U.S. Attorney General's office. And now she's transferred to the lowest security prison you can be in a residential neighborhood. So, like, imagine the facility that's over here off of, what is that, Atkinson, the women's facility. Yeah, and right. That's where she at. That's where she at. You just fairly recently got sentenced for bringing as many as 3 young underage girls a day to Jeffrey Epstein for his foolishness. You had ongoing relationships recruiting these girls, paying them $200, knowing what you were leading those children into, taking advantage of them. Also, that she could maintain a lifestyle that she could no longer afford when her father died, because she ain't never worked for nothing. Your daddy sets you up to be this, high society, jet setting millionaire, but your daddy was a thief. So he dies and you're penniless. Okay? He dies and you're penniless. So you got to find somebody that can help you sustain or maintain or get back on game into that lifestyle. And you hook up with Jeffrey Epstein. And you know what you're doing is wrong, but you want to be able to live in places you no longer can afford and travel in circles you no longer have the money to travel in. So I don't know that 20 years was enough for what she did, but it was something. But then to see you treated in a way that you receive now after meeting with the president's former personal attorney, you in this cushy new situation while you appeal your case. Now, let me just say, if the players involved was Black people, would any of this be happening?
Not at all.
If Barack Obama, if his name was connected to the Epstein files in multiple places, and Michelle was helping to facilitate, well, I won't say no, because that's not the same. So Barack Obama is mentioned, but then some Black folks, change the race, make Epstein Black, make Maxwell Black. Does any of this play out this way?
Not at all.
It does not.
I don't know.
It does not. The whole party thing, it does not. So for people who tell you that DEI is a curse word, that everybody ought to be treated fairly, that everybody, this is a merit-based system, this is a unbiased system, it's a colorblind system, all of that nonsense. I need us to look at this case and look at what's going on with Diddy, what went on with R. Kelly, what went on with Bill Cosby, and do note the difference in treatment. I'm sorry. No, Diddy ain't got no business asking for no freaking pardon. You got convicted. I believe a lot of this stuff that these folks said you did. You silly enough to, be whooping on women in a hallway like you some damn Don, in a towel.
And recording.
I mean, well, he didn't know he was being recorded.
I mean, that particular situation, but just everything else.
But you that ignorant, you need to be in jail. You need to be in jail.
I was gonna say with the young lady that's in prison, she holds all of the cards. and Trump and his administration.
She don't hold
No.
nothing because them people will
Well,
have her killed in jail.
Yeah. But if she started talking, what
She ain't
they
gonna
want to
talk.
avoid that.
She ain't gonna talk.
And so
Talk
that's
to
why
who? The enemy has sent his former lawyer into jail to see you.
Right.
That's why when they're talking about now that they may possibly release these tapes, you better believe the only reason they saying that is because they done got that chick to say something favorable
Of course.
about Donald
That's what
Trump.
I was about to say. So since she hold the cards, he went in, talked to her, wink, wink, wink. She say something on the record. It's on the record. So now that it's on the record, she can say no, Trump was not there, because that's what they're asking her, was Trump there? For her to say that, she hold the cards, and in return, do this for me. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then you look at Trump, ran off of saying that, and that the Democrat came up with a hoax. This is all hoax. The Epstein files is a hoax, and then that they trying to ruin him, and that he was going to release it to prove that the Democrats came up with a whole hoax. When he get in office and find out he's all through the files, now it's it's fake news, and what? Release the files. Release it if this is what you said you was going to do, and that it was all a hoax, and that the Democrats did this to try to hurt you in the election, and you can prove that. Release it.
Without fail, this individual knows that he is connected and in trouble.
Exactly.
Anything that Ghislaine Maxwell says at this point cannot be believed because of the very situation you just laid out.
Yeah.
How you get moved to a cushy, smaller, less restrictive situation while you're awaiting your appeal process.
And that ain't never happened before.
And then you have the House Oversight Committee issuing subpoenas yesterday, primarily to Democrats and a few Republicans that Donald Trump does not like anymore, like Bill Barr. But you got Bill and Hillary Clinton on your list. You want to talk to them. That this the Oversight Committee about the Epstein situation. But you ain't asking your boy in the White House, whose name is mentioned multiple times and who everybody now pretty much acknowledges but him, that this was his best friend for 10, 15 years.
Not only that, but his name is all on the flight log, and I forgot who that guy was. He's a Republican. He got on TV and said, well, there's nothing wrong with using his, there's nothing wrong with using his planes. You know, people ride on people planes all the time. You know, sometimes planes break down and you might call your friend that have a private plane and ask, hey, can I ride with you?
All of that gets negated when Donald Trump's own word says, yeah, Jeff basically do his thing. He loves women as much as I do.
Yeah.
But he like them a little younger. He says all of this.
Yeah, they got him on tape saying
and I'm gonna just say this because I know that there are listeners and there are people in the country. I was listening to another show on my way in this morning where they're like, y'all, this is a distraction. Yeah. I'm gonna say yes and no. Why do I say yes and no? I remember when Alvin Bragg, the prosecutor in New York, was bringing forward his case in the Stormy Daniels situation and the tax drama with Donald Trump. And everybody laughed, questioned Alvin Bragg's capabilities as an attorney, questioned his judgment, made fun of him. The hot shot was, oh boy, what was his name? Jack, I can't think of his name, that was handling the case out of DC. Yeah, one of the attorneys, prosecutors that was looking at, I can't think of his name right now. The Fonnie Willis case was considered a tighter case. All of these cases were considered much better, and people poo-pooed. And I don't even know why, you know, this is happening. And other legal analysts literally made fun of his brother for bringing this case forward. At the end of the day, it's the only case that survived. At the end of the day, it was the strongest case in terms of the way things got handled. And he was insulated from pressure, like on the federal level, from drama, like down in Georgia. He was methodical. Jack Smith, thank you so much, Rhonda. He was methodical in the way he executed it. And at the end of the day, the little engine that could ended up producing 34 felony convictions. Not just charges, convictions. This man has 34 felony. Like, I don't know no bruh that got 34 felony convictions. He has 34.
Oh, that's still free with 34 felony convictions.
And so you think about this case, whether we appreciate it or not, this could be, to some extent, the undoing of this dude. It needs to be discussed. We can't get lofty and, we got to talk about, SNAP. We got to talk about the unemployment numbers. Because we can do all of those things. And I get tired of people acting like we can only focus on one or two things at a time. Nobody should tell you that somebody was potentially a part of a ring of men that were sexually molesting and involved in intercourse with young teenage girls, and we figure out a way to say that's not that important. It's a distraction. It's important, but we need to talk about what they doing at HUD. We can do it all, y'all. Because you're not the ones that have to deal with the investigation. But we can put people out here to stay vigilant in trying to get to the bottom of what happened while we address all those other things. And yes, we're talking about it. And so people are like, but if we're talking about this, we're not talking about that. You got 24 damn hours in a day. If you spend 15 minutes talking about this right now, you still got how many minutes left to talk about the other stuff? So I've had people say, Michelle, don't spend time on that. I disagree. Because you will be amazed at what can be someone's undoing. Donald Trump is in this mess up to his neck and shifting the focus to Barack Obama. Barack Obama did something, with the Russians in 2016 to stop Trump from being elected. Boy, let me be clear. Barack Obama might as well be the health department. Because if there was any dirt to be found on him, it would have been out by now. I mean, I'm just saying, he might as well be the health department. But this other dirty thing that's in here with all these secrets and all these attachments and affiliations, y'all, if Ghislaine Maxwell shot Jeffrey Epstein, I will be shocked. I got to take a break. We're going to get to some other topics, but you subpoena Eric Hogan, Derek Garland, Jeff Sessions, because he don't like him no more, Loretta Lynch, James Comey, no, he don't like him, Robert Mueller, no, he don't like him, about this. But Acosta's name is not on there. Alex Acosta, the man who gave up the BS 13-month deal, his name ain't on there. Trump's name ain't on there. Y'all know they playing games. And you just got to look at Republicans and be like, and when do y'all stop? Because even when it comes down to the sexual assault, a little white girl, y'all still let me do why. I got to take a break.
Now, back to Saints on the Grid with your host, Michelle Bryant, WNOV.
All right, family. Welcome back to the show. So, a couple of quick things, and I'm gonna try to get to some local stuff. But some of this national news is just or sideline is just killing me. Somebody said Michelle Gazelle Maxwell has 1 foot out the door, or she could stay for 20 years. She ain't safe either way though. She's Debo just said she know too much. You ain't safe either way. But during the break, Jermaine asked me, did I see the whole piece with Charlemagne the God and Donald Trump and the back and forth after Charlemagne appeared on a show with Lara Trump, and she was asking him some questions about how she thought, or how Charlemagne thought that Trump had been doing so far. First of all, and I've been listening to talk radio for a long time, not just local, but around the nation. And I don't necessarily always get why Charlemagne is that person that people go to, like, oh, I'm trying to get your thoughts on this. I just don't always get it. I just don't. So Charlemagne is asked this question by Lara Trump. And, somebody said, well, what's up with the name Charlemagne the God? First of all, his real name is Leonard McKelvey. So I'm sure it's probably sexier to say Charlemagne rather than Leonard. I'm just saying. And if y'all hear a little bit of something in my voice, it's because Charlemagne says, when he's asked about, Trump, that while, and I'm paraphrasing, but while some of Trump's policies would certainly benefit him, I'm assuming because of the income bracket that he is in, that if it's going to hurt other people, then he has a problem with it. And so he said, I wouldn't, and this is a quote, when he was asked to rate Trump's presidency, he said, quote, I wouldn't give it a good rating simply because the least of us are still being impacted, because the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Trump said, he got upset, obviously, after he heard what Charlemagne had to say. And he starts calling Charlemagne low IQ and, not smart and all this stuff. But one of the things that Charlemagne said is that he was rooting for Trump to succeed. He said, I still am. Basically that concept, because if you do well, the nation does well. And I just want to say all that's BS. And it gets on my nerves. I'm not rooting for Trump to succeed. I want him the hell gone. I want him gone. He has no business in that office. He is a disgrace. I want him gone. So all this benevolence, like saying stuff that is not even possible. It's not possible for Donald Trump to do well. It's not possible for him to care about other people. It's not possible for him to lead in a way that is beneficial to all Americans, or at least the majority. It's not possible. So why say stuff for the sake of saying stuff? That's the thing that irritated me when I walked away from reading about that interview and that exchange with Charlemagne and Lara Trump. I'm not getting, see, that's why I can't never be on the shows. Because I'm not getting ready to play with you and mince words with you. No, I'm not here to see him succeed. I want to see him gone. I want to see the man who is trying to remove his impeachment record from National Archives and Records gone. It's disingenuous what you said. Because if you've been watching this man the first 4 years he was in office, his business career before and after being in office, you know that what you're saying is a bunch of BS. There is no do better. He's not. You can dip him in holy water 100 times. This dude ain't gonna come up washed clean and new. It's not gonna happen. Lucifer himself got a better chance of coming up redeemed. You can't dip him. So why sit on TV and say nonsense? I'm rooting for him to succeed. I want him to succeed. Boy, stop it. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Oh, Vaseline Day, Vaseline Day.
What's going on, Arizona?
Man, it's Bacon Negro for the next couple of days here.
What's your numbers looking like?
Man, 115 and 117 tomorrow.
Oh, come on. They said 84 here today and I got sick. You said 115, 117.
Yeah, flip me over because I'm done. Leave them on both sides. I am raw. Wait, let me say something about this. You might have skimmed past it or said something about it. Ain't nobody care about no damn Hulk Hogan funeral. Nobody care about dude. Let dude. I hope you put him face down where he gotta go.
So let me just ask this. Is this just because of his now connection to Trump or just in general?
Man, that dude is a racist, man, because he's a racist. That's why. Anytime, all that, I grew up and he all good and when he was younger, but as you grow up and all that stuff is out the window. That denounced all that player stuff back in the day when he was whatever he was doing. Now you all that stuff is out the window. Your daughter don't even want to be on at the estate. She don't want not a penny from you. Not a penny.
Because you remember his daughter was dating a black dude.
Yeah, well, she don't want a penny.
Yeah, and he lost his mind.
She don't want a penny from him.
He lost his mind.
And especially when he had his beer promoting and everything, and all of a sudden they said, yeah, give me some models. Got him some models. Next thing you know, he found out it was a black chick in there. He took a picture with her. Next day, she was out of there.
Yep.
She was out of there. So let's not forget about Hulk Hogan. Let's put him face down. Put him where he gotta go. I don't like a racist. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Put him in the 117.
I mean, and and the sad part is because so many young people, young black kids, like everybody else, grew up
about my age, about our 40s.
Yeah,
about our 40s. We like to do, and then now and then we find out dude is a complete racist. Man, get your funky tail butt down in there. We don't even like you, fam. Bye.
All right, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. And then Hulk Hogan was also trifling, but those are just personal failings. So there's a video that came out with him getting busy with his best friend's wife, and Florida jury awarded him $115 million to the media outlet that released that video. And then it was in the course of that video, he got busted having sex with his best friend's wife. And in the course of the case around that video being leaked, that's when people began to find out about all these racial slurs that he had used to describe his daughter's black ex-boyfriend. And he even said, quote, "I am a racist to a point," before adding the slur against black people, according to the transcript. They said he apologized at the time, called the language unacceptable, but it's all on tape. And so there are a lot of people that they struggled with. This was the dude that, we all grew up around. But then, you hear people talk and you like, oh, that's like the dude from Seinfeld, Kramer. Hey, I don't watch Seinfeld no more. I can't never see dude and laugh at him at all. And, Jerry and them was all pretty quiet when old boy had his little blow up. And you can't take a heckler and you look out in the audience and call a heckler a nigga. Like, wait a minute, it's a heckler, bruh. This is what people do. So if that word flowed out so easily, yeah, you've been using that. You own that. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle. This is Angela. How are you?
Hey, Angela. Are you on speaker? Something's going on with your phone.
Let me turn my radio down. I'm not on speaker though. Can you hear me now?
Yep, go ahead. Let's see if we can get it.
Okay, so now the lady that worked with Epstein, I mean I don't like racist people either. You know what I'm saying? Because I just had an incident with a white girl that really just went off on me. You know what I'm saying? And got to calling me all this and that and the third. So I had to take a 5-minute break from where I was and walk on the other side to gather myself because I was going to snatch her. But I know me. I locked that other person up that I have inside of me that will come out and really go there. So I had to take a 5-minute break from her because if I had got hold to her, I'd be locked up for real. But I don't care for. Back in the day, I didn't like white people, and I'm just gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like the way they treat us or the way they think they're better than us because they're not. They bleed the same blood we bleed. I don't think anyone is better than us. We are better. If we come together, man, they wouldn't be able to handle it. But we are so divided. And that hurts me to my heart to see that we're not sticking together. I only shop with our people, and I'll go way over across town to go to their store if I have to, because I don't like the way we are presented. With these other races thinking that they're better than us. We are the best.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the call, Angela. And the one thing
Yes,
I would
ma'am.
say is that, I am all about self-pride. I don't think I'm better than any other group. It's some things I know I don't do. I know we don't do as a people that other folks do that I think is trifling. But, we also understand that a lot of this artificial racism and creating division was about people in power trying to maintain power. So it was done to harm white, low income and poor white people too, in that if the low income white people realize how they being taken advantage of, they gonna try to get the wealthier white folks out of power. So I need to give y'all something to feel good about. So even though you're poor, I make you feel good about being white so that you look down on black folks. And even though I'm raping your pockets, I'm treating you unfairly. You're not getting health care. Your mouth is raggedy. You living somewhere crazy. Your kids not being properly educated. And I just do this multi-billion-dollar tax bill basically to be able to make the rich people even richer, to protect them and give them more while I take that money out your pocket. But because I've given you the false sense of white superiority, then you're able to not feel so bad or not pay attention or not try to run me out of town for taking all your money and all your services and all your resources. So that's what, it was a trick bag. It really was. So slavery was started because of a real labor situation and people just being trifling and going to capture people to do their work. But you justify these systems and you bring other people along because you got to give them something. Because when enslaved people were brought to this country, guess who got put out of work? White folks. They got put out of work. So what do I give you to make you feel okay? Because I done took your job, but you're better than them. You're not working because you're better than these Negroes, than these black people. And they bought it. So you can't feed your family. You there making potato soup because it ain't no meat. You're living in a raggedy house and outside killing, whatever you can find to eat. But they told you was better than black people, so it's okay. And people bought it and they still buying it. The farmers on some of these places that's racist and voted for Trump, but the man puts policies in place that hurts your farm. People bought it. And unfortunately, we got black folks buying it too. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I couldn't resist this opportunity. Listen, I heard you talking about the morning show host, Charlemagne the God, and he said that he would hope that the man succeed. Well, if the man fails nationally, okay, he fails nationally, guess what? And that's for any United States president. It comes to it crushes America. And me and you, we'll be ground to powder because we, just what you were just saying, we will be ground to powder. So if this nation falls, who does it fall on the heaviest? Me and you. So, I mean, we can have we can feel about the man, what we want to feel about him. But in reality, it is what it is. When you get Hulk Hogan, well, Hulk Hogan made some statements about his daughter with a black man. Well, if your son came in the house with a white woman, what would you say? Yes, where did she come from? Where you going? If one of my sons coming in with a white girl, which I think one of them got a hold of one of them, I would say, and I have said, when they was having a barbecue and they was they was treating me like I was Archie Bunker, like, oh, barbecue, oh man, and I remember that. But at the same time, I'm gonna say what I want to say, and I might not be as big as Hulk Hogan to my words to echo across the world, but at the same time, it echoed within my family. So I'm gonna say what I want to say. And you call it racist or whatever. Now, I don't know about the Epstein thing. I didn't get a chance to hear that. I heard Angie talking about that. She just brought the name up. I don't know if that was a discussion. But you have to look at something about that, too, that's been suspicious with me. Epstein, when he first was arrested, who did they put him in the cell with? They put him in the cell with a serial killer. Remember the dude that killed the police out there? That was his cellmate at first. Then they moved the cellmate out, and a couple of hours later, a day or something, I got to do the research on it again because I was up on it at first. Epstein winds up dead, I guess, to move him to a different. I don't know if the man is even dead, okay? But they put him in the cell with the serial killer. I guess that was to make it look as though he was killed, and maybe the serial killer didn't want to jeep with what they had to offer him, as far as being blamed or whatever. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But anyway, if Donald Trump fails, the whole country fails. And I don't know where we getting off at on this stuff, man, about the country fell and we hope the country fall. And the Muslims is bad about it. America gonna give up. Man, don't you know if America fall for real, brother, we gonna be all in trouble. Ain't no more bean pies, man. Ain't no more final call, man. They can close 79th Street, print and press it down over there in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I want to stay on track.
Okay, then. Yeah, well, that just bothers me when I hear so.
I got you, and I appreciate the call. Thank you, bro. Let me just say this. It's not about hoping America fails. It's not about anything other than telling the truth as far as I'm concerned. And to say that I wish I'm rooting for him to succeed, to me is nonsense. It's like saying I'm rooting for, and I'm trying to figure out a good example. I'm rooting for a blind person to drive. That's what it's like saying to me, because it's not possible. You know it's not possible for real. So why even say something that you know is not possible? Say something that makes sense. Like, I hope that we have a government that functions and works. I hope that the members of Congress will wake up and do their job. Say something that makes sense. But saying I'm rooting for Donald Trump to succeed at this stage in the game is utter ignorance. After you see everything he has done to dismantle programs intended to address past systemic racism in this country, Black unemployment is higher now under Trump. One initiative after another that hurts the Black community. You literally are trying to steal voting representation representation from voters in Texas, and those are predominantly Black voters. Like, what? Why say stupid stuff? Just say something that makes sense. Because that's a great soundbite to say while you're sitting on Fox News. That's why I couldn't be sitting there. Because I'm not going to say something to make you feel good. No, I'm not rooting for him to succeed. I want him gone. But what I am hoping for is that these people that have jobs that taxpayers are paying them for will wake up and do their job. And stop acting like they are in some freaking cult and only responsible to one trifling individual. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm not getting ready to play games with you. Someone I'm rooting for him to succeed. I am not. I want the blind man to drive. What am I saying? It's stupid. Shut up, Jermaine. Shut up. Okay, I got some other callers. Let me put something else on the table too. Again, I'm coming. It's national stuff, but let me just say something. And I want to be clear. On some level, I am sick of Jay-Z. Like, I ain't been cool with Jay-Z for a minute, particularly since he steps in and tries to be the white people whisperer during the Colin Kaepernick drama. And, you're going to act like you some kind of freaking diversity consultant expert in terms of everything that went on and Black folks being upset at the way Cap was treated. And so the NFL gets together and gives Jay-Z all this money to go out and be philanthropic. And then the first people, y'all know my rant. First person you give it to is a white woman who was cutting off the locks of Black kids. Okay, that's me. And then you stacking the halftime shows in a way, to me, that don't make no sense. Why are they almost always all Black? That don't even make no sense. It's not representative of the league in terms of viewership. I know players it might be, but viewership is not. But you didn't know what you was doing. I don't care how many times, Snoop Dogg Crip walk on the stage, or even Kendrick, and I love Kendrick, but you wasn't the person to handle the fallout from the Colin Kaepernick situation. You don't have those skill sets and that expertise. Because at the end of the day, how do we mentally, psychologically get over that? You just wanted us to shake our behind during the halftime show and forget about it. So now finds himself in a dispute with Jerry Jones. He got his own NFL drop. Because did y'all know Jay-Z was like an agent and representing athletes? He Des Bryant and Michael Parsons, and they've been clowning his feet. talking about they unprofessional. They don't show up for meetings, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna get into that part of it because see, it's gonna be hard to fight with some of the people you're dead with, taking money out of their pocket. I keep telling some of y'all think y'all can show up to the table and because these people do a deal with you, they're going to be somebody said cheering for Trump is the demise of black and brown. Let me take a break. But Jay Z thinks because you got a certain amount of money and you in the room, that people, you get ready to find out. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Got 2 callers on the line. I'm gonna get them in, and then I'm gonna switch gears. Talk about something local, something a little bit brighter topic, a little bit more hopeful, promising. I always say, gotta bring you what you need when you need it. And we are mired in the muck right now. So to be reminded of what's important and why we work and do what we do, that conversation is coming up in just a moment, but let me clear the line. So let me go to the phones. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle,
Good morning. Good morning.
and everybody there. I call. Okay, you were speaking of Epstein, the Epstein case.
Yes.
Well, I called really to say. Now, I was the one called you back here some time ago, and I told you about my son passed away in prison,
Yes, ma'am.
and he had been in prison for 22 years, but he got 60 years in prison,
Yes,
so he
ma'am.
did 22.
Mm.
And so there was a little march. Tory had a little march going downtown there. And guess who would bring a coffin to the march?
Who?
Winky Blue.
What?
Yes, yeah, he brought a coffin to the march. And I found it out because the guy, he wants to know where to drop the coffin off. And so he told us about the coffin and asked us where to drop it off. Well, we didn't know nothing about it. So come to find out, Winky Blue had sent the coffin. And so he had him drop the coffin downtown. Since we started the march up there, like about Hadley and Center and Hadley and Martin Luther King Drive. So that's where we were at first, and he brought it up there, and so he had to take it downtown, the coffin. But anyways, my point is, my son had been in prison all this time. You got Epstein, you got Trump, you got all of them on the picture with Epstein, Gates, and all of them. But when we do crime, we have to serve the real time, and we get called out. You know, you did the crime, you do the time. You did the crime, especially black people.
Right.
We're the first one, and this man is setting it up to make us be depleted in this world. You were just talking about the divide and conquer strategy. That strategy works. And then you know they're going to pick on us first because we're picked on about the crime. And the city is just as raggedy and depleted. So if you get a raggedy, depleted city, what do you think? You're closing the schools. You're closing supermarkets. You sent the hospitals out of here. See, I'm from an era back years ago. I'm 76. I remember we had all these hospitals, Deaconess, Children's downtown on Wisconsin Avenue. We had all of that, parks and stuff. And all of a sudden, everything's depleted. So what do they think? You're going to have crime. It's going to spread out. So naturally, black people are the problems. And so, like I said, and when I went down to the march, Winky didn't know. I had a picture of my son in his coffin. And if I see him, I want to show it to him. I want to show that I went down to really protest because I don't think it's right. Every time crime is said, it's always black, black, black. So we get the bad name. Everybody in this city, black, don't commit crime.
Absolutely.
And that's my point. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. All right. I got you. Thank you, caller. I appreciate it. Just because of the time constraints, I'm not going to comment. I'm going to leave it right there. But I will circle back. Let me go to the next caller. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Greetings. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm good, bro. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. And listening audience, just first want to say appreciations for all those who came out to Bronzeville Fest. Definitely people who came out and checked out our display. We really appreciate it to push the importance of our culture and our history and the history that relates to today. And that's where I would express and definitely agree with you on about the government and government officials doing their job. That I think is still sickening. That people have this belief that you don't have to follow court orders, you know, and that when people don't follow court orders, there's always been action for that. When somebody get evicted for not following the order to leave, somebody, you know, find that they violated an order to do something in court, they send somebody with a badge, a belt, and a gun.
Right. Absolutely.
when you don't follow the orders
Right.
of the court.
Right.
And the fact that people are in some type of delusion, or we're in a delusion and we need to say this country is not what we think it is. It's not about checks and balances and all the stuff that they've been teaching for the last couple hundred years. It's really about white males making decisions and making agreements, even when they disagree on certain things, to allow things to move forward. And that's where I would say the stuff with Hulk Hogan. Now, when I was an adolescent, I got caught into it because you want to be popular. So I'm wrestling and, you know, hurting individuals and things of that nature. But once I got a little older and actually learned about actually athletic wrestling, I was anti that because that stuff was fake. It was not real. The whole industry is racist, not just Hulk Hogan. Let's not miss words and just focus on Hulk Hogan and debate what's going on with Hulk Hogan, who was clearly a drug addict. I reference people to Netflix documentary of Ed McMahon, not Ed McMahon. What's his name? The owner of WWF, and they talked about him and how he created these fake narratives for America, and that's why you seen Trump in it a lot back in the day, because he created these fake narratives for people to get caught into, and that's how you had adults. You know, they wanted a way to pull in adults for this stuff. The fact that they had ring boys that they were raping, you know, was
and you know, and you just gotta love the irony of that for just 1 second, Vince McMahon. But you gotta love
Vince
that
McMahon,
they accused of sexually, you know, knowing that boys were being sexually assaulted, and then you put the owner's wife over the Department of Education. It's too much. It's too much.
They talk about the trial with Hulk Hogan and how the feds had Vince, you know, and Hulk Hogan came out to do what he did, but he's been on drugs, a drug addict. You know, that industry, as I said, has always been racist. But I end on this. Is the situation with Puff Daddy is, to me, is so disgraceful because we have a distortion in our culture where pimping ain't easy. We uphold pimping, and now he's been charged federally for pimping. So he, you know, must got the Pimp of the Year award because he got it a federal receipts compared to other people, you know. And so I compare him because some people are like, oh, I don't want to compare different artists. I think about Herbie Hancock, who had good music, you know, and people say, well, it's not what's said on the song, it's just got a good beat. Well, Herbie Hancock just had music. It's clear he had music. What were they saying on the music? And I bring that to our local. When I look at what's happening, like at Summerfest, because some of these people I don't even know personally. I didn't even know them until the stuff in the news came out about them. So when I see the fight at Summerfest and it was at a T Grizzly, I just Googled, you know, the best of T Grizzly songs. What are you saying, man? This other memorial to some artists and local artists here. What are y'all saying when I Google your name on your music? What is it saying about you when I look at your video? I don't know you, bruh. And I was like, okay, I know some other brothers on the flyer. You know, man, I'm gonna check it out. But when I look at your video and see how you treating our women, see how you promoting gangsterism, T Grizzly particularly got a video about brothers shooting another brother in the head. When we just had that situation of a brother shooting his sister in the head. You know, hyping up violence. And then when you watch them talk, because it's not just the videos, because people say, oh, that's just the art. You know, I watch the talks and I see, oh, you studied a little law and you was in jail for some type of armed robbery and you helped reduce cases. Well, rap about that. That's what an artist does. They take something that's important and valuable and say it in such a way that can communicate to the public where they can get that message, even if it's something they're not aware of, like law. But that's not what you rapping about. You got women slapping each other's behinds, man. And we supposed to be down. What are you? what is Summerfest bringing? When you talk about double standard, we need to change the behavior and not co-sign local artists, local rappers. They're not artists because they're not bringing nothing artistic, just having a beat with some negative music. So I appreciate y'all. Peace.
All right. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. So look, let me just say this. I am going to actually be filling in for Keith today. So some of these conversations I'm going to carry over into his show. And because I saw Jermaine when Brother Shia was talking, interested in Jermaine's input as somebody who works in the music industry. But I'm gonna tell you, while Shia was talking, I thought about Sexy Red. And some of the lyrics is so, ooh, I can't, but we'll have that conversation. But the thing, though, that's interesting, too, is when you talk about the skill of putting pen and paper, making this stuff works. Let me flip this on the head in terms of literacy and the significance that it has in our community, whatever you ultimately decide to do with it. And so I am pleased to have in studio with me none other than Miss Wanda Montgomery. What's the title over at Black Childhood Development? Is it CEO, president? What is it? I'm the founding member. Currently, I'm the executive director of Black Child Development, Wisconsin. Got to put Wisconsin on that now. Black Child Development Institute. So Wanda, you are here at a time which I think is very interesting for me personally. So I had an opportunity to help out with some children recently in a situation. And I was struck by the children that I was engaging, the number of them that could not read. And at first, second, third grade, could not spell simple words like blue. I ran into a baby who could not spell his own name, and he was going to the second grade. And when I tell you I was so full as I was interacting with them, but on the flip side, I was also doing some math work with this young baby, and he blew it out the water. I mean, there was not a math problem I could put in front of him that he could not. And he was doing it in his head. And so I don't know where the struggle becomes with literacy, because I remember when my son was in school, we did a lot at home, but he went to a school where they were telling him just spell the words the way they sound, like doing phonetically type of work. And I didn't grow up like that. Like, you had to know what you were spelling. You couldn't just. And so I didn't like that for me. And, we was like, no, he can't go to school here. Because that didn't work well for me. But I know we have struggled and changed a lot in what we do to help young people read. So as we have this conversation this morning about your upcoming event, any insight that you all have figured out at Black Childhood Development on literacy, Jermaine, Debo, any insight that we can also ascertain about even the way we learn to read or what those benchmarks should be, I think is so important as a part of this work that you guys are doing.
Absolutely. And first of all, good morning to everyone here in the station. And thank you for this opportunity to come in and share again. But what I will say, I had a conversation this morning at the gym with two grandmothers, all three of us talking about the difference in our children today. One of the things that we must understand, you don't wait. If you're expecting, those moms that are out there now that are expecting, you can get baby books now. You can get children's books. Read them to yourself. You're reading to your child, getting in practice to begin that when they come here, because our children are intelligent. They are very intelligent. Just like they can learn how to do boots on the ground, where them fans at, they can learn how to read. They can learn how to spell their names.
Because have you
They-
seen
Oh,
the
listen.
IG of the baby in a high chair? He can did it that did it that
They
I'm like, oh my
they
God.
learn what they hear. And if you want them to read and understand, keep repeating, keep repeating, keep repeating. Spend that quality time with your children, because foundationally they need that foundation for future. Now, if you wait till they 8 or 9 years old and say, oh, they can't read, well, it starts before
You
they
have
get
missed so much
you
already.
have missed, because all of that, you learn that, the old saying, everything I learned in life, I learned in kindergarten.
Mm.
A lot of it happens early, and it doesn't have to be this formal setting. Driving down the street, read signs.
We did that.
At home, when they're getting candy or popcorn or the things that are day to day, talk about it, spell it out, so that they can begin to recognize what goes with what.
Right.
Books are important, but words are everywhere. They are absolutely everywhere.
So hang on one second. Jay, do I need to take a break right now?
We could take
Okay, so I'm gonna take a break, but when we come back, I definitely want to talk about that, because Mark, yesterday, and you realize the disadvantage, and if you're not taking the time, you don't realize that this child is otherwise brilliant. If you can't read, I'm just gonna assume you can't do math either, because you need to be able to read the problem or look at the problem, and then this child is gonna get written off.
Or they're gonna write themselves off, and they become a
Started asking to read. I mean, no, I just go right to our home. So, and I was like, oh, too young for this thing. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this on the other side. Michelle Bryant, WNOV 868. That's them. We'll be right back. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the show. I am so thrilled. I always am happy to talk to Wanda Montgomery anytime she comes in her capacity, particularly as the executive director of the Wisconsin Black Institute. Wait, say it again. Black Child Development Institute. And I was trying to read this text when I was talking. It says, "Good morning, Michelle. First, I love in caps when Miss Montgomery is on the show. Started reading to my baby while she was in the womb. We also read to her daily, multiple times a day, and yes, highway signs too." As we were coming out of the break, we were just talking about that your socioeconomic status does not have to be a barrier to education in some of the things that we can do to help ourselves. And so when the Institute, when the Black Child Development Institute starts tackling literacy, what are the things that you guys have in mind as you come at this?
So one of the things, it's not a panacea. It's not one way fits all. So we know that. We try to provide certainly resources, but access to resources. So if there are people out there that are doing the work, because we don't necessarily do direct service,
okay,
but we can connect families to direct service. We can give you literature. We can connect you with programs that are doing the things that you want to do in your own household. There's a lot of resources out there. We got to take advantage of it. But basic, we know that reading early, as the person sent you the text, reading early, if you don't feel like you're adequate to do read to your child, or you as they're growing, connect them with somebody that is. Sometimes it's a teenager, somebody that's a little bit older. But I think it's important. Exposure is important. Unfortunately, a lot of our children are exposed to things that are not going to help them. But exposure, there are programs, I see them all the time. People are putting things out for people to take advantage of, and they don't necessarily do that. Our event is the 8th annual Brunch of Books. It's on Saturday, August 30th. We have expanded because we've been in one location for the last 3 years. We're moving over to Abundant Faith, to their big hall that they have there.
Okay.
This year we're gonna have
no, because I like the idea that the event is growing like that.
So this year we're expanding it, and not only for the Brunch of Books, but we're bringing other resources. We're not blind or ignorant to the fact that there are other things going on in our community that we may focus on literacy, but we're bringing other resources. So we've already reached out to the fire department to have smoke detectors there. We've reached out to Milwaukee, the police department, to have gun locks there. We are bringing other resources to help parents. You know, when I hear a baby that's gotten shot or killed, that is just, it's devastating to me to hear that they're in dangerous situations.
Right.
Babies that are dying before their first birthday. So we, Black Child Development on a national level have 8 essential outcomes. And one of them is that all children should have access to books and toys that reflect who they are. So the books and toys that we have look like us. I mean, they highlight in Black adults or Black children. This year, for the first time, we have 2 children who have published books. 2 young boys, Bryson and Braden Best. And they will be here. They're from North Carolina.
Okay.
But they will be here with their books and tell other kids why they wrote their books. I think Braden is 8. He'll be 9 on that day. And Bryson, I believe, is 11, maybe 12. But they wrote books about things that they're interested in. Bryson is about sports, and Braden is about a turtle. You start early, and be
I went and looked
creative.
it up. You can buy their books. I'm looking on Amazon. One book is called Touchdown Time.
Yeah.
And I love that Bryson and Braden love playing football with their dad. It's one of their favorite things to do, whether they win or lose. And so they are writing, like you said, he is in 2021, when this was written, a third grader at that time. And also known as the Kid Knows Sports.
Yep.
Oh my God.
He was doing podcasts and stuff. But parents supporting.
Just like the little girl who does Gracie's Corner.
Right. Parents supporting their child and the interests they have. Creativity starts young.
Right.
How you direct it and how you support it determines whether or not they will be successful. So they will be here. As a matter of fact, they were in town for Juneteenth. So I got to talk to them and take pictures with them.
The boys were in town for Juneteenth?
Their grandmother lives here.
Oh, okay. This is so I'm looking at this whole thing. Wait, who was a member of Omega Psi Phi?
Their father.
Their daddy. Oh. I just saw that piece. Okay. So first of all, I love the idea that young people will get to come and actually hear young people speak. That's amazing. But how do you get to a point where you can even make this happen, Wanda, and to see the growth? Because I got people right now telling folks, look, we need y'all to get to these libraries because they're in danger of losing funding. If we're not going in, if we're not showing that we need these resources in our communities, that
well, one of the things that I tried to do this year too is have somebody from the library to be at the event to sign kids up for library cards.
Were you able to get it done?
No, they said they were not available. I'm just telling you. I reached out to them, and here's the challenge. Our event is always the Saturday. It started on Sundays, the Saturday before Labor Day.
Okay.
So it's a holiday weekend.
Right.
But I would have loved to have somebody there, and those kids that come that don't have a library card, sign them up right there. But they're not available. But we have so that people out there know, this is a full catered lunch where they will be dining on linen tablecloths. The meal is catered by Donna from Delicately Delicious.
And her food is amazing.
Right. We will have music. We will have face painting. We will have some characters from this group from Marquette called Mindful Moments. They dress up in cartoon characters and all, the it's before my time, the Fantastic Four, all of those different, the kids like. But every child will leave with a book bag. In previous years we did totes. This year we're doing book bags, and it will have our logo engraved on it or embroidered on it. But they will get brand new books. They'll get a T-shirt. They'll get some treats in their bag. We will have door prizes. I mean, we have just really expanded. The reason we're able to do it, because I beg folks for money. We do have sponsors. They're not on this flyer, but they're on our website. So we have U.S. Bank. We have Festus Auto Dealership. We have
that's a black-owned auto dealership too. I just saw
we went to
ad for them.
We went to their
grand opening or something.
They have 2 locations.
Yeah,
one on 76 and Florence, and the new one is off of 91st and Brown Deer Road.
Because I think they gave a card to. I know Vaughn had posted something about.
They gave 3 cars away.
Gave to people in the community doing good work.
Yeah.
Okay.
They gave away cars, and it's a black.
Yeah, black owned. Right, Festivus. Okay.
But we have some other Office of Early Childhood Education. Office of Early Childhood Initiatives is one of our sponsors. Zilber is a sponsor. So we have a number of people that sponsor, and then we try to partner with others. And then what we don't what we don't raise through direct sponsorship, we put in our own money. This is free to families. It is free to families. It is not free. Because sometimes people say, it's free, I don't have to show up. It's free for those that come, but it's not free. Everything we do, we have to pay for.
Right.
And
You-
it ain't cheap.
You know, and I always think about the text I got one day from a family who had heard you on the show before. And I think you ended up taking a picture with their son and his friend. Because they sent me, and I have to go back to my text messages, but they sent me a photo and said we even got a photo with WANDA. But the parents talked about, you know, this was such a cool thing to do. That their son, they were taking their son, they called his boy, and like, you know, come on, let's go. And that the guys had a great time at this event. So, you know, I am hopeful that people understand what a cool opportunity is. It is, I mean, and it's so nice. It's so well done. It's so beautiful in the environment. You guys clearly very thoughtful, very deliberate. You know, I tell people I treat folks the way I want to be treated. And like when you talk about the linen tablecloths and the experience,
Right.
uh
It's exposure.
yeah,
We want to expose our kids early. We want to expose them to meeting authors. We want to expose them to books that look like
and
them.
the kids sometimes ask the greatest questions,
And they stand in line while the author autographs their book,
yeah.
just like we do when we want to go see somebody. The other thing I want to say is Danette Johnson,
Yes, one of my
who
favorites.
does justice and books. She will be there as our storyteller. So yeah. So we
she's actually gonna read.
Oh,
or-
yeah.
yeah. Oh my goodness.
But I will say this. Our name says Black Child Development Institute. We are not an exclusive club. You can come. We do not exclude anybody that's listening out there. We invite you to come. There are some majority families that may have foster children that are Black. We invite you to come. A few years ago, we had our event, and this couple came. They had a child that was Black, and they were so impressed when they left. I don't know if they took my card and went on the website. A couple weeks later, the folks sent us a check for $1,000. So, and what I will say to people out there, we do take donations. We are a 501c3. If you want to support this event to make sure that we have everything we need covered, you can send us a donation. Go on our website. You must register for this event. You must register. But what I will say, it's on our website to register. What I will say is if you register, come. Because what happens so often is people register and we think we're at capacity and we go a little bit over and then they don't show up. And then you're blocking somebody else from coming.
Right.
If you got 3-4 kids, come and bring them. We focus on 0 to 8.
I was gonna say, what's the age range?
0 to 8.
Okay.
So you can bring your baby. Now, if you got 0 to 8, but then you got a 10-year-old, and I can't leave my 10-year-old, bring them. Now, if you got a 14 and 15-year-old that gonna cause problems, leave them. But we want our children to be exposed, and unfortunately, there are children that are 10 and 11 that can't read. So how do we embrace all of our children?
So look, somebody sent a text message and they said, does Miss Montgomery know of a good reading tutor for a 7-year-old she can recommend on air?
Not off the top of my head, but what I will tell you is send me or call me at 414-236-5641 and I can connect you.
And I'm trying to remember the Black-owned bookstore, children's books.
Rooted.
I thought she.
She might be doing tutoring, but she's no longer open.
She no longer is open.
Right. And then we have here's the challenge. She was open for a while, but she couldn't maintain because people weren't going there. Niche is open on King Drive now.
Right.
But they're not just children. But the challenge is we have to expose our children. We need to get them in the library. We need to get them in bookstores. We need to take them to events like this and other events, take them to reading circles, all of that. Kids don't just come out the womb reading everything in sight. It's exposure. And they should love to read. You know, my kids, my oldest, that's what she does. Her son, my granddaughter, she's starting her first year teaching next month. So she all set, ready to go.
Well, I mean, and it is like, it's funny. I talk about my grandson. If you give him the opportunity to play with a toy or to read a book, he chooses the book every time. Right. The toy is the afterthought. And I just have to say this too, because I knew Rooted, was
I think they're doing online.
I think they do online, and I'm on their website right now, so I'm gonna check and see. And I actually know the mother of the sister who owns Rooted.
Yeah.
So I need to reach out, because this was one thing I appreciate about different folks in our community. So whenever Dr. Myers, and educator, when she was doing her Black History Month events for the state of Wisconsin, she made sure that she held her events at Rooted.
Right.
And she bought books.
Oh, yeah.
Out of her own pocket. She would make like 10 books available for family members or for children, first people come through. And the way we deliberately try to support and keep our businesses open, and particularly these types of books. I mean, these types of businesses that, because I'm gonna tell you, when Reader's Choice closed, sad.
Right.
Oh, when the Cultural Connection closed,
yes,
devastated.
Yes.
I used to love going upstairs in the Cultural Connection. And somebody said Niche Book Bar on King Drive may be a resource for tutoring as well. Faith Colas chimed in with that. But we gotta like support these. I went to Uncle Bobby's Mark Lamont Hill's bookstore in Philly.
Yeah.
When I was out there. Bustling, the vibe was amazing. And I keep saying, it just seems like we have a hard time combining those two. But you got all the things that supplement it. You got the coffee shop,
right?
You got
things that
food.
bring them in.
Yeah, that bring people in. But just straight books, we having a problem.
Right. And I think for us, and I'm gonna say this on the air so people understand it. We buy new books, and I buy them from different sources. I bought them from Rooted. I haven't connected with Niche, but I go directly to authors and get their books. And I have a lot of people in Milwaukee that say, I got books, and sometimes we have bought. But the issue for me, and I've had people reach out to me, we're collecting books. Will you take them? Maybe I'm bougie like that, but I want new books. I want our children to have the first crack at the books that they get from us. Because so often we always get what somebody else has had. And I want them to know, from me, you're important. I'm going to get you new books.
And as a reader, and I'm going to tell you, I'm ridiculous. Book. And I have some books that I've got other people. Some people passed away in their family.
Right.
Think about me. Yeah. But there's still something when I go in and I read to that person, kind of smile. So I always laugh like, this is my book. It's not my book. So there is something special about what you guys want to remind people real quick as we close out for the day. Make sure I mention it. And maybe we have you on one more time. It's just we need to know when.
This is Saturday, August 30th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll be at Abundant Faith Church of Integrity, 30 West Good Hope Road in Milwaukee. Free, open to the community. Register, but show up. Online or BCI. Wisconsin.org. BDCI-Wisconsin.org. And if you get lost there, Google my name. BDCI is connected to me.
Perfect. All right, fam. That is a wrap for the show. I want to thank Wanda for coming in. And this is always and you can hang around. I'm going to cover for my man Keith Pierce, who couldn't be with us today. So I'm gonna wrap my show. Thank you, Russ. And wait, minutes.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, y'all.